Madam Clerk, roll call, please. Can we get to roll call? No, I'm not on mute.
Oh, I was on mute. I'm sorry. It still looks like it's 9:29. It's not 9:30 quite yet.
Well, that's 9:30.
Just turn, Sherelle, you're good.
Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Killeen,
Here.
Commissioner Dobb,
Here.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman,
Here.
Commissioner Kniezek,
Here.
Chair Basham,
Here.
you have a quorum present.
Next item.
B, Chair's remarks.
I don't have anything that's worth putting in the meeting. Thank you. Next item.
C, approval of the March 24th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move for their approval, Mr. Chair.
Support. Support was from who?
Me, Irma Clark Coleman.
Oh, Irma Clark Coleman. Support from Commissioner Coleman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item, Madam Clerk.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Okay. Next item, new business.
Item 1, under new business, communication from Marcella Cora, Wayne County Legislative Auditor General, forwarding a copy of the Office of Legislative Auditor General's financial assessment limited report for the Wayne County Building Authority's audited financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020.
I'd like to welcome the county's Auditor General, her staff, and her guest, Ms. Cora. Welcome, and please proceed.
Okay. Can you see this? Well, trying to share this screen. It's not showing. Oh, let me try it again.
The Word document is showing.
It is showing. Okay. Couldn't see it
Yeah.
from this side. Okay, we're
It's
good.
just not zoomed up, but it's showing.
You can see it on the screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, good, perfect. Marcy Cora, Auditor General, and I have staff, if they could introduce themselves.
Mike Cisnowski, Audit Manager.
Crystal Thomas, Supervisory Auditor.
Erica Jones, Senior Auditor.
What you have before you today, this is the audited financial statement. This is our financial assessment limited review for the Wayne County Building Authority's audited financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. These are the financial statements that were audited by the external auditors, Plant Moran. I'm not sure if we have guests here from the Building Authority. I know there is a Building Authority meeting today, but I'm just guests on with us.
Yeah.
Yes, we do
Yeah,
have.
Michael Alazan, I see him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm here. Forgive me, I was on mute.
That's okay. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hi, this is Michael. I'm with Wayne County Buildings Deputy Director. Glad to meet you all.
You too. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to turn it over to Erica Jones and she'll go through the presentation.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Just to start the beginning of the presentation, the Office of the Legislative Auditor General received the Wayne County Building Authority Financial Report, including audited financial statements for a fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020, in accordance to the Wayne County Ordinance. The authority was created in 1961 under provisions of the State of Michigan Public Act number 31 as amended, and the authority was established to provide for the acquisition, furnishing, equipping, owning, improvement, enlarging, operation, and maintenance of buildings and building sites for leases and for eventual ownership by the county. This also includes recreational facilities, stadiums, parking lots, and other structures. The authority is governed by a 5-member board in which members serve a 5-year term. The county executive appoints these 5 members with various terms as posted on the site. The authority's administrative functions are managed by officials in the Department of Management and Budget. The authority is a blended component unit of the Charter of Wayne County, Michigan. The definition of blended component unit is a legal separate entity from the county, but because they provide services exclusively for the benefit of the county, their financial operations are combined into the primary government operations for financial reporting. Per the external auditor's report on page 2, Platt Moran had a unmodified opinion. They said that the statements presented fairly in all material respects the financial position of the Wayne County Building Authority as of September 30th, 2020. They also said that the financial statements were free of all material misstatements. And on page 2, just gives an overview of the various types of funds that the building authority has. They have general operating fund, which accounts for financial resources and expenditures, except those accounted for and reported in another fund. They also have the debt service fund, which shows restricted, committed, and assigned funds for expenditures for principal and interest payments. And then they have the capital projects fund, which is used to account for and report financial resources that are restricted, committed, or assigned to expenditures for capital outlays, including acquisitions, constructions of capital facilities, and other types of capital assets. And then we also analyze the financials to understand the changes from the prior year, fiscal year 19. And for revenues, we noted that there was a decline in revenues of 3.2 million, approximately 3.2 million, due to a substantial reduction in interest income. Actually, when you look at the financial statements, you will see that interest income was 56,000, dropped from 56,000 to 9,000 between the 2 fiscal years. There was a substantial reduction in interest income. There also were reductions in building rents and payments to other county funds. And then also we analyzed the fund balance changes. The fund balance decreased by 39,000, mainly due to increases and due to other county funds. So there was more liabilities incurred in fiscal year 20 versus fiscal year 15. Then we also noted that the building authority's net position increased by approximately 108,000. There was a positive change in assets over liabilities. So they had a positive net position. And then we lastly noted that the authority's total government fund balance was around 10.1 million, which had a decrease from 39,000 from the prior year. Again, this was due to a substantial reduction in interest income and a few minor reductions in building rents and payments to other county funds. These funds were committed to pay for debt services in the amount of 8.1 million, program activities of 1.2 million, and capital improvement expenditures of under 1 million, so around 776,000. And then lastly, we noted a couple of observations that were repeat. we noted that per the report, Plant Moran identified that a budget was not prepared by October 1st for the year ended September 20 and the fiscal year 19. The state law requires that a budget must be established by October 1st, and that was a repeat observation from the prior fiscal year. Also, we saw a potential risk exposure that the building authority has bonded debt outstanding of $189 million. They were able to pay off some of their debts from the prior year, which reduced that amount. However, the risk is that the funding to pay off the debt is coming from rental payments received from the county. As we previously stated on the prior page, that there was a reduction in rental payments. Therefore, we believe that's a risk exposure in that area. And that also was a recurring concern from the prior year. In our conclusion, we believe based on our limited review, nothing came to our attention that caused us to believe the Wayne County Building Authority's audited financial statements are not presented in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. It is our recommendation that the OAG's financial assessment limited review report on the Wayne County Building Authority's financial statements for the year ended September 30th, 2020 be forwarded to the Wayne County Commission for receiving and filing. And that's the end of my presentation.
Okay, there's probably going to be a few questions from commissioners. Anybody have any comments? Commissioners, questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
thank you. So I have a question about the annual budget for the Wayne County Building Authority. Why wasn't this prepared? And I believe we talked about this last year, and they promised us a budget. So I'm wondering why that wasn't done, and if someone can speak on that, please.
Somebody like to respond?
Somebody from the building authority could respond.
Is there anybody from the building authority that'd like to respond?
Good morning. Hi, this is Michael from Buildings. Honestly, I don't know. This is my first commission meeting from the building authority, so I'm just kind of stepping in for Director Jones, who's on vacation at this point. If we can table the question to the next meeting, I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, we asked the same questions last year, if I remember right, and that's why I think commissioners are asking again this year. We'd like to not be a repeat and to deal with this. So anyway, that's one, and I appreciate the question, Commissioner Dobb, but also does management actually plan on including the management analysis in future financial statements? Can you respond to that one?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Basham, was that directed to me or?
Yes, to you.
I honestly don't know. Forgive me. Unless somebody else on this board can step in, that'd be great.
Well, I got another question for you then. Then do you know whether it's isn't this a violation of state law?
Yogesh, is it possible you
Yes.
can step in?
May I speak for?
Yes, we want an answer.
Yeah, sure. My name is Yogesh Kisani and I'm a Deputy Chief Financial Officer. So this is a repeat finding about the budget.
Right.
And yes, I took over this position in January and I'm trying to find out from our budget folks. We do, however, I just want to say we do prepare budget for the debt service fund for the building authority, which has been approved by building authority. But I'm just trying to find out why it hasn't been done as a special revenue fund. We do not have much more activities in a building authority. One of the reason. Other reason is we have almost paid off our 2010 bonds in October of 2020. So we may have a less and less activity in the building authority. But just to answer your question, yes, I will table that question and I will talk to our acting budget director as well as a CFO.
I appreciate that. And does any other commissioners or does the Auditor General have any questions?
I would add too, if Yogesh could work with the building authority to ensure that we get a reply to why there wasn't a budget and ensure that they're going to have a budget approved for this fiscal year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And what about the GWEDC? Any questions from commissioners on that?
Our presentation's next on that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it in front of myself. Never mind. Okay. That's that Zoom meeting stuff that I'm dealing with. So, okay. All right. Please proceed. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have a question
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't
or
see you.
two. Yeah,
Okay. Commissioner Colleen.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Ms. Cora, Auditor
Yes.
General. These component units, the next one we're going to look at, you're going to make the same recommendation about a budget.
Correct.
How many years have we been doing this recommendation, Ms. Cora, for these component units?
I can go back through the years and look, but I know it's been at least the last couple for sure on the building authority and then I believe the GWEDC.
Yeah. It goes back further than that.
Right. I'm sure it
And-
does. Yes.
And every time we talk about this, and I'm not saying anything about the gentleman from the building authority, the answer always is, well, we don't have a lot of activity, you know, and we're about to wind down anyway, or something like that. But it is compliance with state law. I'm on the Art Authority Board. We have the same requirements under the state law. We don't spend any money, but we have to approve a 2-line budget every year because that's the requirement of the law. So I have no idea what it's going to take just to have this fairly simple, straightforward, complied with. And Ms. Cora, I'm also going to recommend again that on these component units, you show who the board members are and the date of their terms.
Okay.
If we
We'll
can
get that
do,
information provided.
yeah, that would be great. My question is on your potential risk that you mentioned at the end. Is what you're saying to us there that the county may have to cover this if there's some difficulty internally of the building authority being able to cover this?
The county has pledged their full faith and credit for the outstanding bond. So if the bond obligations were not met by the authority, the county would be the one on the line for the bonds.
I just wanted to underscore that, right? That I think on all these component units, the county is the backstop in case something goes sideways. But I think that's even more reason to have an annual budget so we can see for the upcoming year what they're able to do and what they're not able to do in that year. All righty. Thank you, Ms. Cora. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Does anybody else have a question, comment? Okay. Can I get a motion on this one?
Move to receive and file.
Been moved, support? Been moved and supported. Any just further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next item. Madam Clerk. Okay, we want to go to GWEDC.
Item 2, communication from Marcella Cora, Wayne County Legislative Auditor General, forwarding a copy of the Office of Legislative Auditor General's Financial Assessment Limited Review Report for the Greater Wayne Economic Development Corporation's audited financial statements for the fiscal years ended September 30th, 2020 and 2019.
I'm going to share my presentation. There you go. Okay, it's on the screen. What you have before you is the Office of Legislative Auditor General's Financial Assessment Limited Review Report for the Greater Wayne County Economic Development Corporation's audited financial statements for the fiscal years ended September 30th, 2020 and 2019. You remember, this is the one GWEDC that's been winding down for several years left. And as you'll see in the presentation, there's only about a small amount of money left that needs to be spent. Once it's spent, then the GWEDC, I believe, is going to dissolve. But I'll have Crystal Davy, she'll go through the presentation. Crystal Davy Thomas.
Good morning. Our limited review of the Greater Wayne County Economic Development Corporation's audited financial statements for the fiscal years ending September 30th, 2020 and 2019 included, but was not necessarily limited to, a thorough and complete review of the financial statements, limited inquiries of the Department of Management and Budget officials, and analytical review procedures. The Greater Wayne County Economic Development Corporation was created on November 22nd, 2004 as a Michigan public body corporation. It was created through an interlocal agreement between the Economic Development Corporation of the Charter County of Wayne, Michigan, the EDC of City of Taylor, and the EDC of the City of Detroit for the purpose of administering economic development programs and functions in Michigan. As of September 30th, 2020 and 2019, $4,568 and $39,750 respectively remains available to be granted. The GWC EDC's only revenue for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020 and 2019 is investment income of $619 and $1,086 respectively. Plant Moran, the independent external auditor, stated that the financial statements presented fairly and in all material respects the financial position of the governmental activities and general fund of the GWC EDCs as of September 30th, 2020 and 2019. In addition, the changes in the financial position for the year ended were in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. A report on internal controls over financial reporting and on compliance and other matters were provided in accordance with generally accepted government auditing standards. The governor's report noted an instance of non-compliance with laws and regulations. Specifically, Public Act 2 of 1968 requires that all local units of government in Michigan adopt balanced budgets. GWEDC was required to adopt a budget for their main operating fund, which had total expenditures of approximately $36,000 for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020. The GWEDC board did meet during the year. However, the meeting was only to approve a resolution to spend down funds. A budget was not adopted for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020. Thus, GWEDC is not in compliance with Public Act 2 of 1968. The GWC EDC's only major fund is the general fund, which serves as a primary operating fund because it accounts for all financial resources used to provide government services other than those specifically assigned to another fund. You can find this chart on page 7 and 8 of the financial statements. This is a statement of net position. The assets were decreased by $5,638. The liabilities increased by $29,544. And the change in net position decreased in the amount of $35,182. This change is due to the GWC EDC spending down net position as the program is currently winding down. Management has determined that the fiscal year 2021 will be the last year of operations for the GWC EDC. The remaining cash on hand will be allocated and no new revenue sources are expected. In conclusion, based on our limited review, nothing came to our attention that caused us to believe the Greater Wayne County Economic Development Corporation audited financial statements are not presented in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. It is our recommendation that the OAG's Financial Assessment Limited Review Report on the Greater Wayne County Economic Development Corporation financial statements for fiscal years ending September 30th, 2020 and 2019 be forwarded to the Wayne County Commission for receiving and filing. This will conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know we hear this year after year, and I know this year is supposed to be the final year that we're winding down the GWEDC, but still, we're a public body. We have an obligation to abide by Public Act 2 of 1968, which we didn't do. And so can somebody speak to that? I know it's not this hopefully ends it, and it's not a repeat finding next year, but why do we just ignore public law?
So this is Wafa Denaro with Economic Development. We discussed the budget at the board meeting. We just never formally approved a budget. So it was, it was administrative oversight. We talked about the budget. We talked about where we're going to be, and we are really close to winding down. The rest of the money will be allocated for administrative fees to, pay down the lawyers to wind down the GWCEDC. So we will have another board meeting this year. We will get a formal budget approved, and we will be done with the GWCEDC.
Okay, and I appreciate it. I wouldn't be the skunk at the picnic if I didn't ask that question, but quite
I
frankly,
understand.
yeah, I feel like we have to. So does any commissioners or anybody else have any questions or comments? Nobody?
I have my hand up.
Oh, I can't see it. I was looking for it. You must have a small hand. Where is your hand?
Top left corner of her picture.
Well, you know what? I can't find. Let me see.
Because I'm raising my hand right now too.
Never mind, I'll just speak.
Go ahead, please speak.
Okay, so I was going to ask the question, what can these funds be spent for?
So they can, oh, I'm sorry.
The funds that are left, what was it, like almost $40,000? Was it 39,000?
There last year there was 39,000. We're only I think we're just over 4,000 at this point. And that money is, yeah, normally the money can be spent for infrastructure projects. They're forgivable loans for infrastructure projects. But the last of the money will be spent on legal fees and really just winding down the GWCEDC, just getting it.
So it's only 4,000 left.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it.
And then can we go back to screen share? Because I can't see anybody's hands except I can see the writing. Now I can see Irma. Put the hand up there like that. Okay. All right. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? I got screen share on now.
Yes, Mr.
Nobody
Chair.
else?
Colleen.
Commissioner Colleen.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to visit the budget thing one more time, and Ms. Denaro, when these laws get passed for these component units, in the wisdom of the legislature and the governor at the time, they said, we need annual budgets for these kinds of units that are out there. And without that, should anything ever go sideways with one of these things, and there's no annual approved budget, it will cause difficulties and maybe even legal actions. I don't know what. So I think on all these component units, well, there's not that many, but we have some. I think instead of having this discussion every single time in audit committee, that we just produce budgets. Most of them are not going to be taking hours and hours of staff time. And the only other thing, Mr. Chair, is, every year we see this audit, I'm always intensely curious, and maybe we can't answer here, but how the heck did Taylor ever get involved as a part of the IGA for building jails and that sort of thing that we have used this money for? So maybe since you're down that way, we can talk about that offline sometime, Commissioner Basham, but that always sticks out to me in the annual reports. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
to that point, actually, that precedes me, and actually, the commissioner from Taylor used to be the chair of the Wayne County Commission.
Yeah, I might give him a call.
Okay,
Well,
he
no.
passed away, by
Yeah,
the way.
that's right. As soon as I said that, I said, I got a few other people down there, but that's
Okay.
okay. I'm moving
All right,
on.
anyways, before my time. Okay,
Nothing is before your time, Ray.
moving right along. Okay, anything else from commissioners? Okay, can I get a motion?
Moving files, I move that we receive and file it.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Can I just say this to staff? When I had screen share and all of a sudden somebody put that item back on and I lost screen share, so I cannot see commissioners' hands. Could they go back to screen share? Screen share should be turned off. Oh, I mean that, okay, now, thank you. Now I can see people. Okay, now, anybody got anything else?
I do
Okay,
have something.
yes, Ms. Cora.
At our next meeting on May 12th, we will have Plant Moran presenting the results of the external audit and the single audit. So I just wanted to let everybody know there'll be a communication come out as a reminder. We invite all
Okay.
commissioners.
Okay, and just a point of, that when we don't have the item in front of us, please put it back to screen share so I can see people as chair, and other people can see, so that I can see people when they raise their hand up, okay? I appreciate it, and so anyway, we did take a vote on it,
Yes.
and it passed, and next item, Madam Clerk.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Warm weather is not on the committee, but there is nothing else. Next item.
Public comments.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment? Would you do me a favor and take this thing off my computer right now where it says new business, please, and go back to screen share.
So you don't want
You're
everyone to follow
showing the
the agenda?
agenda. You're showing the agenda and I cannot see, please don't show the agenda and I can go back to screen share. There you go. Now, okay. Is there anybody else that have any comments? Okay. Going to public comment. Is anybody from the public that like to comment? Anybody from the public that like to comment? Can you unmute everybody, please? Can you unmute everybody?
Yes, I'm unmuting the lines right now. Everyone has been unmuted.
That's not what it's showing here.
It'll pop up in
Okay, all
ads
right,
to
now,
view.
okay. Now, is anybody from the public that would like to comment? One twice. Anybody public like to comment? Next item, Madam Clerk.
Adjournment.
Is there a
So moved.
motion? It's been
I move.
moved. Is there
Support.
support? No, anybody, any further comment? It's been moved, supported, comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.